So, the Lady of the Green Kirtle needs a name. Or does she? Today, Narnia.com posted the news that you can submit your idea for the name of the Lady of the Green Kirtle, who's the main antagonist in the silver chair, and submit it to the filmmakers. They will pick their favorite one and actually use it in the movie. For the fans who maybe were, because it's been so long since there's been silver chair news, I know there's probably been a lot of fans who feel like nothing is happening. Like, they made an announcement and then they didn't do anything. What's going on? Well, this should be proof enough for you that something is happening, the wheels are turning, because apparently they are far enough along in the screenwriting process to realize we need a name for this character. So probably at least one draft of the script exists. Isn't that crazy to think? Somewhere on this planet there is a draft of the silver chair. In the book, she's never referred to by name. She's the Lady of the Green Kirtle, the Queen of Wonderland, the Queen of the Deep Realm, things like that. She's never actually referred to by name. The explanation given on the website is that being known only as the Lady of the Green Kirtle doesn't make for easy dialogue. We want to add a name for this character by which other characters can address her in the script. So it appears that it's not just going to be something that appears in the credits. They will actually say it in the film at some point. I will not be, in this video, revealing what I think her name should be, because I have no idea. What I do want to talk about is some of the things that I've taken away from this announcement. Number one, they're definitely aware of how fans might feel about this. This is kind of a big thing. You know, it's very not canon, coming up with a name for a really important character. And so I think they're saying, well, why don't we just let the fans pick? So they're going to give her a name, and one of the things that's controversial about this is that I think Lewis very intentionally made the Lady of the Green Kirtle a very mysterious character. We don't know where she came from. We don't know what her origin is. We don't even know exactly the nature of her evil plots. Like, why did she feel she needed Rilian to take over Narnia? Why did she want him to forget about, who he was and everything? It's not 100% clear how it all worked. So she's a very mysterious character, which is something I always found interesting because one of her main tactic is to make people forget where they came from. She makes Rilian forget that he was a prince in Narnia and forget that Narnia even existed. She tries to convince Jill, Eustace, and Puddleglum that there was ever an overland. She tells them that the sun, there is no sun. What you see here, this is all there is. This is the real thing. There was no overland. She makes the gnomes forget about Bism. That's why they're so sad. They forget about where they came from. She even, in a way, makes Jill and Eustace forget where they came from. She makes them forget the point of their quest, which is to find Prince Rilian. She gets them to focus on other things like hot baths at Harfang to get their mind off their goal. And Jill, throughout the whole story, keeps on losing track of the signs. She keeps on forgetting them and forgetting, look, the reason I'm here is because Aslan sent me here. That's the reason I'm on this quest in the first place. So this whole idea of forgetting where you came from and why you're here is an important idea that comes up again and again and again in the Silver Chair. It just really speaks to how important that is and how your belief about where you came from can affect every area of your life. And I just find it interesting that the character in the story, who her main tactic is to make people forget their origin, doesn't have an origin, or at least Lewis never tells us what her origin is. I don't quite know what that means, but I think it's interesting. So this kind of makes me wonder, the fact that they're going to give the Lady of the Green Kirtle a name, are they also going to give her a backstory? Are they going to try to explain exactly where she came from? Has she always been in Narnia, or did she get that from another world, like the White Witch came from Charn? Honestly, I'm open to the idea of giving the Lady of the Green Kirtle a backstory. I'll see what they come up with. I'll just see if I think it works for the movie. I'm not saying, no, Lewis made her mysterious. She definitely has to be mysterious in the movie. I don't necessarily feel that way. One thing that has come to mind is, and this is obviously going way off book, but I'm trying to think, okay, if you're going to come up with something for the Lady of the Green Kirtle, let's try to keep it consistent, thematically consistent with the story. What would make sense in terms of what the story is about for her backstory to be? What if she doesn't know her own origin for some reason? What if she doesn't, for whatever reason, has forgotten? What if she doesn't know where she came from? And maybe that's one of the reasons she does what she does. I don't know exactly why. I don't know how that would lead to her deciding she wants to take over Narnia. But in terms of, we got to think of something that's thematically consistent with the story, and forgetting where you came from that's her key tactic and a really important theme in the story. So wouldn't it be interesting if that's what it was? She doesn't know where she came from. And for some reason, that drives her to do what she does. Just throwing that out there. I'm definitely not alone among the fan base when I say that I am relieved that at least we know her name is apparently not going to be Jadis. already made a whole video about why I'm hoping they don't put Tilda Swinton. They kind of squeezed her into Prince Caspian, and they really shoved hard to shoehorn her into Voyage of the Dawn Treader. And I really would rather they not do that. Now, they still could shoehorn the White Witch or Tilda Swinton into here one way or another. I hope they don't. But it's good to know that, okay, at least they're not going to say that. This seems to pretty much confirm that they're not going to say the Lady of the Green Kirtle and the White Witch are the same person. So that at least is a relief. I'm still hesitant to even bring that up because I don't want to jinx it. But that was definitely one of my first thoughts is, okay, whatever her name's going to be, at least it's not Jadis. So obviously I'm going to be submitting my idea for a name. We'll just be, rereading the book and giving it a lot of thought, and I'll submit something. But so what do you think? Should the Lady of the Green Kirtle have a name? Does it bother you, the fact that Lewis clearly intentionally didn't tell us a lot about her and left out things like her backstory and her name? Does it bother you? Does the very idea of her having a name in the backstory bother you? And also, do you have any ideas for names? And if so, why? So please post a comment below.